Welcome to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you'll hear about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Now, let's join your hosts, Spivvy Williams and Terrible T Guy.
All right, guys, welcome to the next edition of Event Radio. We are at the holy grail of automotive art. This is, it doesn't get any better than this, guys. And the gentleman that we're going to introduce you to on this show is a future inductee in the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame and actually should have been in it since the beginning. The work, we talked earlier lots of times about some custom paint work, and a lot of people know people by their work more than they know them by their name, and because of some of the famous vehicles they've done. Our guest is known by both. He has the utmost stellar reputation in the automotive art business, of being the man, if you will. He's the guy that makes all this stuff happen. And I'm sitting here looking at our new Suburban that he just did for us. And honest to goodness, I hate to even take it out of the building. It is so sharp, and you will see it all over the country, everywhere we go. It will be sort of a rolling advertisement for our guest. Some of the things you may recognize that he has done, and we're going to talk about that. If you've ever seen the custom pictures of the UPS truck, that's one of his. And if you've ever seen the Brooks and Dunn semi going down the road with the flames, that's one of his. But we're gonna take a real quick little break for our sponsors, and we're gonna come right back and introduce you to the one and only Mr. Bob Taylor. There is no better automotive art man on the planet than this gentleman, and we're honored at Event Radio to have him join us. We will be right back, guys. All right, guys, we are back from I'm actually in the middle of the shop with my buddy, Mr. Bob Taylor. Bob, how are you, friend?
My life got any better, I'd be you, man.
You'd be in trouble if you were me. No, right now, you'd probably be a pretty lucky guy because the job you did on my Suburban, yeah, you'd be cool to be me right now. I guarantee you. That is absolutely gorgeous, my friend.
Well, I love to custom paint. I love to do flames. I like the 3D crossovers. But this one I got lucky on. Now, the colors come out perfect. It's got that little purple edge on the back where the blue crosses over into the red. The yellow is not really yellow. The yellow I use is a secret.
Okay, all right.
A lot of guys use the wrong yellow.
Yeah.
And I'm tickled to death. I wish you could leave it here a couple of more weeks.
Hey, I tell you what, buddy, I as bad as the weather is, I'm tempted to just sleep in the back seat and just leave it sitting right here inside this building because it is absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. Of course, this is the second one that you've done for me. The other one that we jokingly kid, we've used it 15 years, guys, and it has been out in the weather for 15 years, and it still looks dynamite. We get we get compliments on it everywhere, but we kid and call it our Griswold wagon.
Well, 8 coats of clear on the thing don't hurt either.
No, it doesn't. But the only award we haven't gotten is the tow truck driver car of the year, and we should have gotten that as many times as it's laid down. Let me ask you, you started pinstriping at a young guy.
1956, I started piddling with it.
Let me ask, what was your motivation to do? Is it something that just sort of happened, or did you see it somewhere, or where did it come from?
You got time for this?
I got a week, buddy.
My dad was a house painter.
Okay.
And he was really into chips back in the days, and we lost everything we had. I mean, it's another story to that, but Dad bought him just something about colors and paint that just really I enjoyed looking at. He bought a brand new 47 Plymouth 4-door blue, and he always had paint around the house in the garage because when he used it on his job, he had 20 guys working for him, and he'd buy paint by the tractor trailer loads.
Yeah.
And I got into it, and I painted the trunk lid on this new car white with a 4-inch brush. He come home and says, "What in the world did you do to my car?" I said, "Dad, I see two-tone cars all the time. I think, don't ever do that again. What paint you use? What paint you use?" And I told him. He said, he got some mineral spirits and got it off. He also bought 2 rabbits for us on Easter.
Yeah.
And they was white, and I dipped them in some barn thinner and two-tone rabbits. And luckily, Dad got them to the vet and got them taken care of. You know.
Well,
so,
a kid doesn't think that would hurt him. That would just look cool, right?
but I did have an art teacher in junior high school that saw something in me that I was a big goof off, didn't get too good a grades, you know. And she really bragged on me and said, "Can you stay after school and do our king and queen contest designs? And you just do lovely work. And I don't see how you mix them colors like that without looking at the book." I said, "Well, I don't see how to do it either."
Well, let me ask you, is it a God-given talent?
Yes, it is.
Does everybody have one?
Yes, they do.
They just have to find it,
You
right?
just have to keep chasing it, yeah. And that's one of my themes. Don't give up on your dream.
Well, and guys, Bob has a book out, and I don't mind telling you, I'm not a big reader, but when I brought this Suburban up and left with him, he gave me an autographed copy of the book that, man, I love it, and I wouldn't take $1 million for it. But on the way home, my wife's driving scares me to death anyway, and I thought, well, I'm going to flip through and start reading this book. Well, it never stopped. The minute we got home, I sat at the kitchen table. I missed dinner. I missed everything, and I read that book all the way through. And trust me, you need to call this gentleman, get on the website, whatever, and you need to buy this book. This book, to me, is the American dream. It's what everybody should use as a guide to live your life, and it really hit me pretty hard. I had a lot of respect for you, and I called you and told you the next day. I had a lot of respect for you because I've watched the stuff you've done for a blue jillion years, and I'm not going to tell them how old you are, but I've always had respect for everything that I've seen come out of your shop and everything you put a brush on, and it multiplied by about 10 after I read the book, and because the determination and all that you did to get to this point, my God, man, give me a break, you know? It was just amazing.
Well, I tell you what, it's a true story. And my wife would say, "Oh, you don't have to put some of that stuff in there." I said, "You've been on me for years to write a book about my life and enjoy it, because that's what I'm going to do, you know."
Well, and you didn't pull any punches of any kind anywhere. Let me ask you, when you started, there was one section in the book where you had to take a windshield out of a car to pinstripe the dash?
Exactly. A 59 Chevrolet. You know, back in the days, mid-60s, late 50s, mid-60s, guys wanted their dash striped.
Yeah.
And a buddy of mine bought a 59 Chevrolet, and it seemed like 3 feet from the edge of the dash to the windshield.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, "I can't do 59 60s dashes. They're just too long, and I can't do a good job on it. If I can't do a good job on it, I won't do it." So he said, "Well, my brother works at the glass shop. We just take the windshield out, and you can lean over the hood and do it." I said, "You do it, and I'll stripe it for nothing, just to show you."
Well, now you charged grit big money back then when you first started. Anyway, I think, what was it, $3 or something? Or
The first car I did was a 53 Mercury. Had I don't know, it was in 1956. It worked for my dad, and he had it. And he seen some of my old pinstriping on the wall in the garage. I striped light bulbs and everything, you know, to get practice of it. And he said, "I want you to stripe my car." "I ain't going to stripe your car. I ain't good enough to stripe your car." "Yes, you are. You are good enough." I said, "No, I can't do it." And he said, "Well, I tell you what I'll do. I'll give you $5 to stripe my car." I said, "You'll give me $5 to stripe your car?" He said, "I sure will." That's $5 was a lot.
Hey, what was you making? Probably 50 cents an hour, maybe back then, maybe, or
not with a raise I might have. You know?
Okay, all right.
But I striped the car for him, and I thought I was rich, you know. And I said, "Well, that's easy. That's fun to do. And guys paying me for this." So anyway, somebody seen it, somebody see it, and on down the road, here I am now sitting there, almost 40,000 vehicles that I have striped, counting caskets, motorcycles, tractor trucks, lawnmowers, everything.
What's the most unusual? What's the weirdest one that stands out in Bob Taylor's mind?
You know, it's funny that you asked. It was just the other day, a gentleman come in and they adopted 2 kids from Japan, and the little girl was born with right below the knee was missing. She was born that way.
Uh-huh.
And she said he she keeps getting it scratched up. I said, can you put anything on her so it won't get it scratched up? I said, yeah. He said, can you put some hot pink on it? I said, I got hot pink pearl. I'll put that on there.
Yeah.
He said, you do butterflies? I said, yeah, I do butterfly. I put her name on it. And I did that. And when he come in, he said, what I owe you? I said, buddy, you don't owe me a thing. The Lord's been good to me. Merry Christmas. He said, I can't believe this. Let me pay you. And he said, let me get a picture with you with the little girl with her leg on, you know.
Yeah.
And that's one of the weirdest things. Of course, I do caskets and bathtubs, girls' fingernails, sunglasses, shoes, you name it.
Yeah, everything.
I price everything.
Yeah, well, that's all right, buddy. Just bring the checkbook. Come on down. We're going to get it done. I can't imagine the job you guys did on the Brooks and Dunn semi truck. To try to flame a semi truck and trailer has got to be a major undertaking. I mean, that's different than doing the Suburban or a 34 Ford or something like that.
It was the biggest job we've done because the tractor was silver and the trailer was white, and they wanted it all black with my secret yellow flames and everything on. And they said every time we go to one of them shows, me and Kicks likes your jobs. We both like them. We want you to do this truck. I said, I don't want to get into anything that big. He said, yeah, just price it. Well, anyway, took $6,000 worth of paint to paint that and 6 weeks to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, DuPont calendar, every year they put a car on their calendar for the Top Gun Award.
Yeah.
And it got a Top Gun Award that year in June. Actually, it was on my birthday month. You know, it was really
Boy,
weird.
I tell you what. Well, it's gorgeous. It's sharp. How did the UPS truck come about? Because you did guys. I'm sure you've been out there and you've looked through magazines and stuff. And the brown UPS truck with the flames is another one of Bob's creations. So how did that happen?
Well, they called one day, and this guy that works for him, he's one of their district managers, and he's into a lot of the promotional work. And he says, I'm building a UPS truck. We're taking 17 feet out of the top of it, chopping it. They put a 550 cubic inch Chevy motor in it and lowered it on the ground. And he said, can you flame this? I said, we can flame it.
Yeah, if it don't move.
Let us do it, me and my son, Danny, do it our way. And he said, here it is. Call me when it's ready. That's what we did.
Well,
it's been in a lot of magazines because UPS, so they're using it for their advertisement and everything.
Yeah,
it's always on display at the Street Rod Nationals.
Well, it's been in a ton of books out there. And have you ever kept up with how many cover cars you've done?
I think it's 31 now since 1962. We was in a Hot Rod magazine in 1962, a 57 Chevrolet we striped called the Tank. And that was my first magazine. And right now it's over 280 because I keep track of them. Some of them I don't even know of.
Yeah.
They've been on the cover 31 times, the jobs that we've done, and my own cars too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, you've had a lot of cool stuff. I always liked the sedan that had the Louisville skyline on the back. I thought,
my 32 Chevy,
yeah, buddy, I thought that was slick. I really liked it. But I liked them all. I liked the El Camino. I liked the Pontiac wagon that's back here. Man, that's cool. Now, I mean, your shop truck is cool. You got a HHR shop truck. It's the panel wagon, and it's got the graphics on it of the smoke graphics, and then of course the Taylor logos. I mean, that thing's a head turner, my friend.
Yeah, it's painted like a Harley Davidson. Their colors, orange and black, and got a little smoke in it and a little striping on it.
Oh, we're going to take pictures of it. Don't worry. We're going to make sure and show the people all this stuff. I tell you what, we got to take a real quick little break right here, but we won't be gone but just a minute, guys. You're on Event Radio, and we will be right back. All right, guys, we are back with our buddy, Mr. Bob Taylor, and honest to goodness, everywhere you look around this shop, there are awards, there are pictures, there are you've even got a picture over here signed by Dale Earnhardt. How did that come about?
I was in Las Vegas at the SEMA show, and he was there signing autographs for just 1 hour. And I went up there and asked him if he would sign the autograph. And of course, he was doing them anyway, and I was in line. And I said, you mind if you put our last names on it, me and my son Danny and Bob Taylor? He said, no, not at all. And he did. And so right now, the corner that he signed on that picture, signed it on the wall at Daytona where the picture was taken. and the same wall he got killed on.
Yeah, I mean that's.
And I got the photo to prove it, as you can see.
Oh yeah. You've got. I mean you don't need to prove anything, my friend. You have proved it out of. There ain't no telling how many happy customers have left this place. And then they're everything that comes out of here is a showstopper. There's no question. But growing up, you would stripe cars, and you also worked at the drive-in movie. Now, tell me about working. I went to drive-in movie a couple of times. I don't think I ever saw a movie, but I went.
Me and my buddy Wayne Davenport, along with a guy by the name of Charlie Evans, we clean up the place after it was over. We get there at 6 o'clock in the morning, and the main thing we look for, if anybody lost any wallets, jewelry, or anything, we had to turn it in, but very few people ever come back and get it,
Yeah.
So we get to
if they didn't come back and get it, you all got it.
Exactly.
Of course, right? Yeah. Yeah. So that was.
But I've been working since I was 13 years old. Always had something to do. My dad said, if you ever want anything, work for it, because I ain't giving you anything. Nobody give me nothing. But if you get in a bind, I'll help you.
Well,
He was a heck of a dad, he really was.
Well, yeah, and you didn't mind the working thing. That was cool, and you especially, because you can sit back and see the results of your labor, and it's a God-given talent that you're sharing with the world and making good money doing it. I'm not begrudging that for sure, but you make a lot of people happy with what you do. And that's a good thing. I mean, if you were a brain surgeon, you'd make one guy really happy. And you take your talent and you put it out there for the world to see. And man, I know, because I had 15 years worth of another Suburban that got more compliments and more looks. I thought they were looking at my wife, and they were actually looking at the Suburban, But it's been in movies. It's been in Guns N' Roses video. It's been in a lot of stuff, and where people say, hey, can we take a picture of that? Well, that's because of you, my friend. That's nothing I did at all other than trying to take care of it,
Well, the guy told me one time, says, if God gives you a gift and you use it, it's a gift to God. And Lord's been so good to me, I can't explain how I got here. I just like cars. I like working. I loved artwork. And I couldn't be happier.
Well, let me ask you, when you actually got promoted to a gig that you wound up being International Show Car Association, then they picked you. Were you the judge, or what did you do?
Well, I did both for Carl Casper's Custom Auto Show, which is going with me in the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame, and they asked me, because they put on a rod run, and me and my buddy did jokes up on stage, and he liked the way we talked and treated people, and they asked me if I would be his show director in 1962. I said, Carl, I don't want to handle that job. I said, Dang. He said, man, you can do it, I guarantee. He said, do it just for 1 year, and if you don't like it, you can quit, and if you want to come back, you're welcome.
Okay.
In 1996, I was voted best show director in the Great Lakes Division, which is north.
Yeah.
And also judged. I judged shows. Me and my buddy Don Sturgeon, we go all over the country, all over the eastern part of the United States, and judge automobiles. We didn't care who won that thing, but we'd leave her at night and drive home 4, 5, 6 hours. That we knew we had it right. And we didn't judge a car because we didn't like the guy or didn't like the car, didn't like the color. One time, a little quick story.
All right.
This other judges were there and says, I ain't giving that guy best paint on. He got a big chip in the door over. I said, buddy, the paint is killer. He didn't paint it with that chip in there. You got to give a guy a little credit. Stuff happens with all these traveling they do.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, I was on the ISCA show circuit in 1981. I made 12 shows, got 9 Best Rod, Hot Rod Magazine Best Rod and Show Award, earned the right to go to Las Vegas for the grand finale show, and was tickled to death. What a trip. What a trip. That was... I would never do that again, but it was worth what I did. It's real good memories.
All right, I got to ask you something. I saw a picture in a book. Is it true that you striped Al Capone's cell in Alcatraz?
No, we was there, but we was there while we was in Las Vegas and went over there to
California to watch that.
No,
I saw that, and it was you in there, though. I mean, somebody took a picture.
My
of that.
son took a picture of me.
Yeah, and he said you were pinstriping Al Capone's cell, which did not surprise me. I mean, I expected that to be real.
He said, "Dad, I wish they'd keep you in there to keep you off my back." I said, "That's your problem."
Yeah, I don't believe I think that'd be a place I'd want to go visit. I don't think I'd care about staying there very long.
You know, the cells in that thing, like 5 feet wide and like 8 feet long. Whew,
Yeah.
keeps me straight.
Yeah. I mean, all you got to do is go visit, and you understand why you don't want to go back. Plus, I couldn't swim that far.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of people that's really helped me along the way. My dad told me one time, I didn't know what he was talking about. He said, if you see a turtle sitting on a fence post, he didn't get there by itself.
That's in the book. I laughed.
He said,
read
you
that,
thank the people, and you take care of the people who take care of you. And I do. I take care of people who take care of me.
Well, it's a situation that, guys, I don't care. You can look all over this country, and you go from, everything cool is supposed to happen out where the seawater is on the west side of the country, and that's absolutely wrong. You come into here, and you come to dear old Louisville, Kentucky, and you come down off of Critton Drive to a little place back here all secluded by itself, and you will see some of the sharpest stuff in this country come out of this building.
I don't know. Well, we've had some pretty good vehicles in there. Really have.
What does Bob Taylor have a favorite that you did?
Favorite car?
Yeah.
That I did?
Yeah.
Gosh. Man, you got me a good one on there.
Well, and the reason I say that, you have a book over here that has you're a different guy. A lot of guys, some guy can letter, another guy can pinstripe, another guy can paint, but you can do it all. And so you have books that show each step, whether it be Mickey Mouse with an attitude or a flame job.
You saw that picture, huh?
I loved it. I saw something one time, and I don't know who did this, but it was on the front of a rear engine dragster. And it was a Mickey Mouse caricature holding a spray gun, and he had an attitude. You know how to make it do that. But he's standing there with his hand on his hip and the spray gun, and he's pulled the spray gun, and paint's coming out of it, and it goes into a full custom paint job. That's a cool. That was wild.
Sound like something my son might have done that too. But I did about 2 dozen dragsters myself.
Oh, I know you have. You've done a bunch of drag race cars, boats.
Tell you something else I did. I used to be on a pit crew for my buddy Ken Ryder that run USAC. And I was one of the tire changers, and we was changing tires. This was 1960, 70, 71. We was changing tires in 23 seconds. We thought we was doing something,
Well, back then you were.
Yeah, really. But did that, traveled all over the eastern part of the United States.
You had a little stint with round track racing, didn't you?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, our local Louisville, our Kentucky Fairgrounds Motor Speedway here in Louisville.
They got so many different names of them now, you can't keep up with them.
Here in Louisville, and I used to letter most all the cars there, and did a pretty good job. Didn't charge a whole lot. I just loved the car. And one time was a heat race. There was 10 cars in a heat race, and I had lettered every car in that race. And I hope, please don't crash these cars. I don't want
to have to do them all over again.
Do them over, yeah.
Let me ask you: does that ever happen much? Because people have accidents and stuff. Can you fix it if they mess up something? You got to just do it all over again.
Well, figure eight's a little different, but
no, I don't mean that. I mean like even a street job.
Oh, I'm saying I do that all the time. It's probably 20% of my business is repair work. Somebody
Really?
hit it, or hail damage, or bang a fender, something like that. We can match anything that we've done.
Boy, that's
without a problem.
That is cool. I mean,
that's probably the hardest part of the job.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't. I would say I would have thought that you would have had to done it again from scratch. All the way through, because I can't. Looking at this Suburban, guys, and I'm sitting here in awe because anybody that knows me knows I love flames on everything. I think Susie thinks I've got flamed underwear in the short somewhere. I don't know, but I love flames on stuff, and of course, there's only one man that does flames as far as I'm concerned, and that's you, my friend. I mean, it's just awesome. I have to turn away from it to keep my train of thought of doing this radio thing and not looking at my own truck. I mean, it's that cool. And, I don't know. When I came up here the other day, you had a Gold Wing motorcycle in here you were doing.
Exactly.
And it's just something. Is it different every day?
Yeah, it is. There's no two alike. I know 90% of my people want to get their cars striped, that they want the old school stuff on.
Yeah.
Old school designs. They say, how much buy myself? 150. Just whatever you want to do. Just pick your colors, whatever.
Well, let me ask you something.
Call me when it's ready.
Okay. Well, and I understand that. And And it's pretty cool to have a reputation like that in any business where they know it's going to be cool, they know it's going to be right, and they don't question. I have a question, though. How do you dream up the design? I mean, they're all different, and do you just sit back and say, well, I think this would be cool, or do you start and do one side and say, now I got to match it, or what?
Well, it's like people playing basketball, they practice.
Okay.
Like, matter of fact, when you come in the other day, I'm still working on some of them plates, just as you see some of them on the wall, making up new stuff. And I probably got 1,500 designs maybe in my mind that I can remember. And I just mix them all around. You probably end up with 5,000 different designs.
But I don't understand how you dream them up to start with. I mean, it just, a pinstripe accents an area, okay, on a car, and be it a door handle, be it a front fender, be it a back fender, be it a hood, be it a trunk, whatever. And to sit and look at that and say, and you just take your brush and you just start, that freaks me out every time I watch that.
I do a lot of just regular dual stripes down each side of a guy, get him a new car, pickup truck, and he just wants 2 accent stripes down each side. I probably do 25% of my stripe job is them.
I couldn't do that with a roller. That's one, I could, no way.
But it is a gift, and I thank the Lord every day that I can't believe in it.
Well, I tell you
where
what,
I'm at today. I mean,
well, I tell you what. Bad as I hate to, we got to take another quick little break, guys. But this is a treat for me to get to come up. It's not only a treat to get to have the new Suburban that Bob did, but to get to set him down long enough and have him on Event Radio is a trip. We know you're enjoying it because I'm sitting here loving every minute. We will be right back, guys. All right, guys, we are back from Mr. Bob Taylor's House of Color in Louisville, Kentucky, and the man himself, Mr. Bob Taylor, on here with us. Sitting behind us is a Pontiac wagon that is another shop vehicle, I guess you would say. And I asked Bob when we were off the air, when you read the book, not only is Bob an ace at his work, but he's an ace family guy, too. Same woman for how long?
53 years.
She must like you a little.
Well, I don't know. I'm never around her enough, and
well, maybe that's good, huh?
Well,
no, I know. I'm playing with you.
If it wasn't her, I wouldn't be here today. Really.
Well, the fact that the Pontiac wagon is a very rare piece. Safari, okay. But you don't. What is it? Not a Pontiac? Is that an Oldsmobile?
55 Pontiac Safari.
Yeah, okay. I thought my brain. I wasn't having brain fade yet. But you talk about in the book one of the very first cars you ever bought your wife was a Pontiac, and I wondered if the wagon, in some remote way, sort of deja vu back there. Is that true, or maybe not, or maybe, or what?
Well, no, it's just one of them deals. I got a good deal on a 50 Pontiac hardtop, light green in color, 2 shades of green. It had the dual spotlights with the mirrors in the back of it, like they did in the day.
Uh-huh.
And got a good deal on it. And she said, "You're going to have to get me a car because I can't wait till you come home, take me place." So I got her this car, and she liked it. And in the book about I never got the thing licensed. I didn't have time. I was always working all the time. I didn't get the thing licensed. I was at Coca-Cola Company running a route. I think it was 22 years old, 23 years old.
Yeah.
And I was coming into the plant, and I seen my 55 Chevy, primary 55 lowered, Dodge Landser hubcaps, audio, eyes cool, W spotlights, on a wrecker. I thought, that's my car. I go into the plant, and I said, what happened to my car? They told my car, was it parked wrong? I didn't know anything about it. I called home. My wife said, I had it pulled in. I don't have any license plate driving my car. I said, well, okay, I'll make sure I get your license tomorrow.
She took yours, is that it?
Yeah, but again, lovely, lovely woman. I wouldn't be where I'm at today with her. God bless her, because she raised the kids, and I was working all the time.
I think there's an old saying, and I'm pretty fortunate. Mine's had me, or I've had her for 42 years. And I think we probably both married way above our raisins. Is that what you say,
I tell you what, it's been a great journey. It really has. I know I got 2 great daughters, Tammy and Rhonda. My son Danny heck of an artist, and he does the same thing I do, and he's I'll put him up without anybody on striping. You know, we also built that or painted that car for the Miller Welding Company.
Yeah.
That 29 Mile A Roadster pickup that a lot of local guys around town here had contacts with that company, and they wanted these guys to do the body work on it and do this, do that, and they even had a Roush trailer put on it. A trailer pulled in by this 29 Mile A Roadster pickup with a Roush motor on it that fired the generator.
Yeah.
And my son was in there striping on it, and that one producer come out there and says, "I've never seen anybody stripe like that kid." He said, "I've been all over this country, and I'm from Southern California, and he best I ever saw."
Well, you know,
proud of you.
Well, you trained him well, my friend. That's all I can say. You know, fruit don't fall far from a tree.
That's what they say.
That's the way it is. All right, well, your shop is at a real unique location because we're at the back of Kentucky Kingdom. So Bob's deal is it's got some pretty easy landmarks to find if you come up here looking for it. All you got to do is look for the roller coasters because it looks like there's one running through the parking lot out here. I bet that's wild in the summertime, huh?
That's my good landmark right down the street. Say, "Where are you located?" I said, "You know where Crittenden Drive is?" I said, "Yes." "You know what a roller coaster is?" Term of the roller coaster.
Yeah, that's
me.
it. Yeah. And you can sit there and watch the people scream and yell and cry and stuff.
You know, a lot of people say that, but it's not that bad, really. Of course, we got an air-conditioned shop here, and every now and then, you know, might have the doors up, but it's really not that bad.
Well, I think it'd be sort of cool.
And they're good neighbors. They really are.
Yeah, but it'd be sort of cool to watch them, you know, every once in a while.
Well, I don't have time normally.
I know you
I don't like to be interrupted when I'm really into it.
You know, the thing about, now, I got to pat you on the back one more time. And one thing that I have dealt with you on 3 different deals. And most guys, now I'm not, for sure not you, but most guys start a project and you got to do everything short of cutting your arm off and giving them blood to get it done. That is not the case with you. If you tell you Thursday at 2 o'clock, you buddy, just show up because it's done. It's ready.
Yeah, I take care of the customers, the people that put me where I'm at today, and make an appointment for them. And if they can't make it, you know, just call me. We'll do it another day, whatever. But there's a lot of shops. Of course, I'm not going to mention shops because there's some guys out there that do fantastic work. But, you know, they'll say, "Hey, bring it over, and just drop it off, and I'll work it in between jobs." Well, they get busy on their regular car wrecks and rebuilds, and they just let it set. And because I've had a lot of guys bring them in and say, "This guy had mine for 2 years."
Yeah, and that's what I mean. You bring it in when Bob tells you. You pick it up when he tells you, and it's done, and it's done right, and it's done just killer. You know, I sound like a broken record a little bit on this radio show because I am so tickled with this new Suburban. It's just unreal. It's if anything, it's too nice for me. You know,
I
mean,
say
it's
that.
gorgeous.
You've always had nice stuff. Even
Well,
when you run the little go-kart track.
Yeah,
down
we
there.
did pretty good down there. We had a lot of fun there. But you know, this. Let me ask you something. Has the computer age done anything to your profession?
Well,
as far as they can now, a guy that can push buttons can go in there with vinyl, which I agree that it's not even in the same class. There's no question. But a lot of people, it's like eating at a good restaurant. A lot of people don't know what good food is, and so. They want a flame job. Well, yeah, I can cut that out with a computer and print it with with one of these digital printers and then stick it on there. But there's no comparison. But has it hurt Bob Taylor at all?
I guess in a short time or short distance it might have, but I still letter a lot of trucks I have been doing since the 70s for these. Still got these customers, and I've tried to talk them into vinyl because you sell it, you can get it off easy, and they said no. My business has been good. I don't want to change anything. I want you to hand letter my trucks.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
But I do, some vinyl, not too much, but I do some.
Well, but I mean, as far as being, of course, you're going to always be busy. That's the key. I mean, I'm amazed that we've been this long on the radio without being here because every time I've ever been here, there's people knocking on the door, the phone's ringing, stuff's happening. So I must have picked a good time. Evidently, I got lucky.
Well, it don't hurt to have the gate locked, too, while we do this.
Oh, okay, all right. You're going to keep them out there, huh? Is any sign of Bob retiring anytime soon?
My wife keeps saying they're going to haul you out of that place. I said, well, I would be so bored. Retired.
One thing my dad told me, he said, the hardest thing in this world to do is nothing. And he was exactly right.
I've never heard that quote, but that's neat.
Well, it's true. And he had a couple of good quotes that I try to live by. He said, the only thing in life you can ever keep is what you give away. And the hardest thing in life to do is nothing. And the one my favorite was, he said, if you think you can or you think you can't, either way you're right.
That's true.
Which a lot of it's in the mind. And I revert that back to you, my friend, because when you read your book, nothing, you had blinders. You knew where you were going, and nothing was going to stop you.
I didn't know where I was going. I was hoping where I was going.
But you knew where you wanted to go.
Exactly.
And nothing was going to get in your way. Even all of the things that happened to you, that you got to read the book, guys. We're not going to tell you all of it. But all the things that got in your way, and you they were just a ripple in the road. They were just a bump in the road because you were focused. You knew where you were going. And that's what I meant when I said the American dream. If you can believe it and conceive it, you can make it happen.
About talking about retirement. My mom and dad, both sides of their families, their brothers and sisters and their uncles and everything, all lived up pushing 90. And I don't want to break that tradition,
There you go.
But I never thought at my age I'd feel this good. I feel great.
Now, this may be morbid to some people, but now when I came up here, Bob did our golf cart back years ago, and when I came up here to pick it up, he had just started this new thing that he was doing, and he said, "Come back here, I got to show you something." Said, "This is a rush job." Well, we go back in this other room, and here is this casket all done in UK with all this stuff, and I said, "Yeah, I can see where it might be a rush job." But you told me something when I left this Suburban that I have told a couple of people. And I have a good friend that's a big time mortician. He's a big funeral director, and he has never even heard of this. And he thought it was the coolest thing since pockets on a shirt. You said when Bob does check out that you want to have paint pens and everybody to autograph your casket. Is that true?
That's exactly right. The people, if they use their time to come to see my last days, I want them to sign my craft and take it with me.
Hey, I tell you what, now guys, that's pretty cool. That's thinking a lot about other people and not so much yourself. And Bob's that way. I mean, he's just that way. I had known you I had known of you forever. Okay, I have had the pleasure of knowing you personally for a lot of years, and until I read that book, my friend, I didn't really know you. But I think I do now, and I'm impressed. I don't mind telling you.
Yeah, my wife said you ought to write a book one of these days. Says even your close friends really don't know because you're kind of a personal person. You don't like to talk about your past, and I think it's nobody's business, But anyway, I wrote the thing, and took me 14 months to do it, and I always had a good memory. Because when I started out with it, I remember when I was 4 years old and a guy walking down the street hollering, "Extra, extra, the war is over," Southeast Asia in 1944, 45. And I did, and I couldn't believe the response I've got on the books.
Well, how can people that are listening to this, how can they get one of them?
Well,
email?
Email my shop, yeah.
Okay, TaylorsHouseOfColor.com or?
No, it's Bob's55 at TWC.com.
Okay, and you can do. How much do you sell the books for? You've never made me pay for one, you devil. I wanted to pay for one.
$10 plus shipping.
Okay, that's cool. Now, if you autograph it, that gets to $25, right? Because you said the book's cheap, but the autograph's so expensive. Is that it?
That was a joke. But I sold over 600 at the Carl Casper Auto Show.
Well, listen, you ought to sell 6 million because it is a great story. It's a great thing to read. And like I said, I'm not a big reader. I guarantee you can put the books I've read my life on this table. And it was cool. I mean, I really, really loved it. And my daughter grabbed it and she said, my daughter's a killer reader. She reads. We had her in reading classes because they said she'd never read well. She can read a book, Bob, that thick in 2 days. You know what I mean? She's an ace at it. But she said, "Dad, I want that book." Because my youngest one turned into be a hot rodder. I mean, she's into just like the old man here.
Well, some of my closest friends that I've had for 25, 30 years, real good friends. Got a lot of them. I got friends I ain't even used yet,
There you go.
Got so many of them.
There you hadn't used yet, huh?
And I lost my concentration there for a second because the wife said, or my buddy said, "I thought I knew you. I am amazed what you've been through
Well,
to get where you're at."
That's just like me when I read the book now. Exactly what I said. And guys, it's a must read. There's no doubt about it. Let me ask you one thing. How much does being inducted in the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame mean to Bob Taylor?
Well, I thought when they asked me or told me they was going to induct me, I thought, why me? You know, daggone, there's Danny Sullivan's in there, Darrell Waltrip's in there, Carl Casper, Jack Roush, I think, is going in. But, you know, then I got to thinking, daggone, I've been everywhere. I've judged car shows, I've built cars, lettered race cars. I lettered Bobby Watson's race car to go run the ARCA 300 in Daytona, a Buick that he had at midnight.
Yeah.
So they could leave that next morning. They went down there, and some people took pictures that still had the markings on it where I laid out the lettering on the thing, you know. But
well, I think I can answer that part of it. Everybody that goes in there is at the top of their game, and that's why, my friend, you are at the top of your game. You are the game when it comes to automotive art. You can be modest, you can be anything you want, and that's okay. But if the shoe fits as it does with you so well, you just got to wear it. That's all I can tell you. You know,
my friends say, Bob, when you die, they're going to have to hire your own mourners.
Well, we'll get a bunch of them cheap.
Yeah,
you know, it's not a big deal. My friend, this little time has flown by. It has actually flown by doing this show, and honestly, I look forward more than you know to get to come and get my truck. But I also look forward to doing this little radio show with you. This has been a treat for me.
Well, it has been me, too. It's an honor to. I've heard your shows, and people talked about your shows, and I'm tickled to death that you asked me.
Hey, no, it's my pleasure, my friend, my pleasure. Guys, we're gonna get this Suburban out of here before he decides he wants to keep it. There's no doubt
I would
about
like
it.
to keep it a couple of more weeks.
Yeah, buddy, I'm taking it home, man.
I got to say, I got lucky with this one.
No, you didn't get lucky, bud. Your talent just showed. You didn't get lucky.
And you know a good thing about it?
What's that?
It's fun to do.
Oh, yeah. And, man, I tell you what, and it's cheap for my side of the table. For the quality of the work, it's cheap. And we won't talk money, but I am so tickled to death that it's unbelievable. You will not ever put a happier customer out of this establishment right here, Bob, than me. This thing is absolutely drop dead gorgeous, and I'm looking forward to showing it off everywhere. And matter of fact, guys, if you get a chance to come to the induction of the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame at the Museum of Natural History and Science in Owensboro, Kentucky, this Suburban will be right at the front door because we're going to use it as an easel for Bob's work to let people see it because it is just too cool.
I might even have my Pontiac there.
Hey, that'd be great. Yeah, we might go to Moonlight Barbecue and eat or something, you think?
There you go.
All right. Guys, as bad as I hate to, we've got to end this. The one and only Mr. Bob Taylor. Bob, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to be on Event Radio. It has been a blast.
It's an honor that you asked me to do this, and it's been a great time, and I know you a lot better now than I used to.
Oh, well, I don't know whether that's good or bad. Don't tell anybody. That won't get you any coffee free at McDonald's or nothing. You know,
it's good, though.
Okay, that's good. As always, guys, we never end our shows without thanking our sponsors. These guys are tremendously important to us. The great guys at Beach Bend Park, Beach Bend Raceway, and Splash Lagoon. The cool guys at Final Finish, the guys that do all the powder coating and all that fun stuff. The great, great people at Quick Fuel Technologies. They are absolutely the best in the carburetor business in this planet. The Gearhead Gazette magazine is gearheadgazette.com. If you want to find every cool event that's going on everywhere in the country, gearheadgazette.com is where you go. And last but not least, the nice folks at Holly Performance. If you can't find a part for your hot rod with all the brands that they sell, friend, you don't have a hot rod. Last but not least, guys, we appreciate you listening to Event Radio. If you like what you have heard, please tell a friend. If you don't, keep it to yourself. Guys, we'll talk to you again. See you.
You've been listening to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you heard about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Join us next time with your hosts, Spivey Williams and Terrible T Guy.